Jeffrey New Del Swat again. We are glad to be back, and it's time to take a look at the newspapers that we have before us, and then Jacqueline is definitely taking us through that.
Yeah, and today we have the Standard, we have the Voice, and we have the Point newspaper. The main story on the Standard is PS Banja gets 2 years for bribery. NPP defers West Coast primaries rather, and selects candidates for 7 councils. Chinese foreign minister says BRI lifts 30 million out of poverty. EU investment bank to light 1,000 schools, health centers in billion-dollar project. And ECOWAS squad president arrives in Banjul in preparation for international conference. German clinic celebrates 20 years of humanitarian service in the Gambia, and Economic Ghana commemorates independence. On the Voice newspaper, half of all women in Gambia are unemployed, says Usainu Dabo, the Secretary General of the United Democratic Party. U.S. issues travel advisory on Gambia. NAWEC assures maintaining gender sensitivity, upholds rights of women. And floriculturists express dismay over road construction, claims losing about $1 million. On the Point newspaper, ex-Banja, which is headlining most of the news this morning, jailed and fined 100,000. Oh, no, 1 million. Yeah, these are figures. These are 6 figures we're talking about. British High Commissioner says courtesy call on VP Jallo. Pays courtesy call, I'm sorry about that. And ECOWAS court delegation in Banjul to discuss 2023 international confab. Witness states he directed Senator Fadera Fabakari to Marabu Yaya Manjang. Some writings I didn't clear as much, so I will just head on to the Standard newspaper and read out a story where PS Banjang has been finally convicted. The former Fisheries Permanent Secretary, Bamba Banja, has been sentenced to a 2 years mandatory jail term for accepting 100,000 bribe from a Chinese private company in September 2018 to free their vessel detained for engaging in illicit fishing. Banja, who served in the civil service for more than 4 decades, was found guilty on all 3 charges of economic crime, official corruption, and public officer receiving property to show favor. The High Court, presided over by Judge B.A. Bakri, also fined Banja 1 million for causing economic loss to the Gambia government, in default to serve an additional 2 years in jail. On the charge of official corruption, Banja is fined 100,000 in default. He will spend 1 year in jail. He is further fined another $50,000 on the charge of public officer receiving property to show favor, and in case he defaults in paying that fine too, he would spend an extra 6 months in prison. His sentencing came following the judge's announcement that the prosecution has proved all the charges against Banja, even though he had denied the allegations in his defense. Passing his sentencing, Justice Bakri argued that Banja, who was tasked with a public responsibility, is required to uphold it with utmost integrity and loyalty. You are expected to act with patriotism, justice, lead by example, and uphold national interests over personal interests. You did not only betray the trust reposed in you, but also disappointed the people of the Gambia. Your act has not only embroidered public interest in a government institution, but also hampered the economy of the country. Your act should not be condoned, and a signal should be sent to the public, particularly public office holders, to deter them from such practices and to act in the public interest at all times. I was meant to impose the maximum penalty on you, but I take your plea of leniency, the judge said. He continued that corruption has eaten so deep into our fabrics that it has now become a cankerworm. The society condones the act as if it is normal, while the person who frowns against it is the one regarded as a misfit or a betrayer of personal relationship, while the corruption is praised for being smart. He added that it is sad Banja, who is a doctor of science and PS of a government institution with many years in the civil service, will allow himself to be used for such a demeaning act of receiving 100,000, out of which evidence shows he will only be keeping $50,000 of the money. I mean, this is sad, but it also sending a signal to all those people that are involved in these corrupt practices here in the country. And it's sad, Lipsy, and he got a point here wherein those that stand against corruption are seen as the one that is misfit. But the one that is involved in corruption is seen as the one that is, upright or something. Let's just say, let me take an example. We'll just deal with this before we get into the whole misconception story. For example, we are 5 in number.
Yep.
And we're up to something that is accepting bribery, embezzling funds. And out of that 5, one person stood up to say, this is corruption and bribery. We are giving this office to uphold, and we should do it with integrity, and uprightness. That person will be seen as the misfit one, the one that wants to, be the hero of the group. No one will see you as someone that is serious. Then you want to call you that you buka yang hal, buka lo ni luba.
Exactly.
Feka yo luba ngalen buka. So lola don't jema explain free. But Banja getting 2 years for bribery and being fined $1 million. I mean, it's a wake-up call for everyone out there that is involved in this kind of act, bribery, corruption, embezzlement of fund. Because today is Banja, it might be you tomorrow. So one has to be careful in dealing with such things. And for Banja, freeing a vessel that was detained for being engaged in illicit fishing. What message is Banja trying to send out? What message was he trying to send out?
To me, looking at things, he was selfish.
Very much selfish.
He was selfish when he was doing that. He was self-centered. And, there are things that you need to look at closely, carefully, before you do a thing. Because the they detain that vessel, obviously, Amuton license to operate within the waters of the Gambia, or maybe they were using wrong nets. I'm going to have nets, some of these vessels that, would come around, they will use this wrong net. And then the wrong net, dafa hitcha. So let's say, yo, you sani sa net fee, nga fish like 1,000 fish. That wrong net muna you 5,000 sibena go, or even 1 million. You never know, because hamulo munu amount of fish being around that zone. So these are things you have to need. Then you some vessels they could use. So then they in different how much exactly that motor you tell maybe they didn't have a license to operate to fish in our soil, or they were in our rivers, or where they're using wrong nets or whatever. But Hamnana they were faulty, and this vessel was detained in the interest of the Gambia. So why would you go take a bribe, understand, for your own personal interest? That's selfishness. But the one thing I like about this is, like, imagine within a short space of time, and you get convictions. It's definitely good, because it's sending a signal. A few days ago, a teacher who was convicted, sent to Mile 2 for trafficking. Understand? And now, from a PS. So this would definitely, tell people out there, no matter what position you hold, sub portfolio is not important anymore, because so definitely. So forget that la ci fekk tam ya ngeen sa bopa xam nga sax am na ñoo xam ne xëy na baña bi moo def lii, because looking at his position, xam nga ban kind of a person he is, xam nga fogoon na ne am na wéeruwaay te mun naa maneuver système bi, mun naa seet naka la moo def ba génn ci dara du ko ci fekk. That's what he was thinking bi moo def lii, because so xamoon ne there will come a time didn't go find guilty of all these charges by sent to Mile 2. Obviously he would not do that. So it is a signal. But dafa am loo xam ne dafa ruslu, because maa ngi gis mu ngi ko wax ne ko yow li nga def nii not you did not your act should not be condoned, which is very true. Understand? Because dañoo bañ keneen moo def ko ba pare mu ngi ko wax ne ko yow nat na da nga defal rek sax ba da nga trust. The trust that the Gambian people have in you, because you were holding that position, that office, because we trusted you. with that office. It's the unthinkable. So you betrayed everyone.
Yeah.
So it is a wake up call. It is a signal to these officials, authorities, for them to realize they are not bigger than the law and they cannot be bigger than the law.
Most definitely.
If you do something wrong, obviously, if you're found guilty, you're going to mile 2.
Yeah, and there's so many people out there also who know someone that is involved in corrupt acts, bribery, corruption, embezzlement of funds. But sometimes they are too afraid to speak out because they'll be, oh, if I speak out, I might lose my job. Don't be afraid to lose your job.
Yeah.
Be afraid to lose your integrity and how people see you, your worthiness. Be afraid to lose that, but do not afraid to lose your job. Lose a job, but always do the right thing. Be the upright person. Always.
And there is one thing too, because Mangis Yangi explained, sometimes it will happen, and then there is this individual who will stand out to say in a leave in court, at the back of their mind, because most of the time, and then what they will say is like, exactly. That should not be your problem. Your problem is you defend the right thing, and if they didn't do the right thing, then they will report land or you can say but sort of you're gonna keep 50, let's say $2 million for my release vessel or whatever or my cover co-op. So much $2 million. Don't take a look at the amount of money. It's a huge amount of money, yes, but your integrity is bigger than that. So ko jelut sumako baye mu dem ci office bi tam daf leena jox dara gaay tiyé ko dara du ci génné dañ ko baye mu dem. This is the reason many people you tend to take that bribery. But the thing is like, don't take it. Do the right thing. And then suko gaay defé yow you know what to do. Understand? So look at countries like China. Look at countries like let's say Asian countries, China, North Korea. There are places you have corruption but it cannot be to that magnitude, because if once you're caught, you're going to spend the rest of your life in jail, or you are going to be killed, because in the past, and they know exactly what the consequences are when you're caught in such an act.
Most definitely.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it is crazy, and I hope this will serve as a wake-up call for anyone that is involved in any kind of corrupt, scandals, that you need to be careful, because Banda is getting 2 years. You might get life imprisonment, so it's better you stop whatever illegal thing you're doing at the point in time. And moving on to the Voice newspaper, let's take a look at this issue where the U.S. has issued some travel advisory to the Gambia. I don't know what this travel advisory is about this time around, but the United States of America has issued a travel advisory saying exercise increased caution in the Gambia due to crime and inadequate health infrastructure, and some areas have increased risks. Statement obtained from the travel state governor, that's the link, that the southern border area adjacent to Senegal's Casamance region is due to the potential presence of landmines and sporadic border skirmishes. Theft and home burglaries occur frequently in the Gambia, especially in the border Banjul area. U.S. government personnel live in the housing with heightened security measures. The Gambia's health infrastructure is inadequate. Services, hygiene, and quality control do not meet U.S. standards of care. Pharmacies are not well regulated. Locally available medicines may be unsafe. The Gambia's southern border with Senegal, some landmines from the Casamance conflict remain in the border region. There have been occasions all border skirmishes in this region. If traveling near or across the border, stay on main roads. Do not travel at night, the U.S. travel advisory said. These are alarming issues. These are issues that are happening currently.
They're happening.
Because when it comes to the southern border with Senegal, we all know the clash that has happened there with the MFDC and the Senegalese soldiers. So as a result of that, I think there are still landmines there. And in the issue of theft and burglary, burglary.
That's the order of the day.
That's the order of the day. So many criminalities going on in the country. Nga ñëw si health infrastructure boobu soo ko waree wax fii la ñu fanaan. Nga ñëwaat si inadequate, control, quality control. of hygiene and service, health infrastructural services. Pharmacies. Our pharmacies are not regulated.
They are not.
They are not regulated.
We talked about it here. Then
Tell me acute kidney injury. Exactly.
And okay, but the thing is like pharmacies drugstores how many balance you need to differentiate a pharmacy and a drugstore.
No.
Regulation, yes, it is not regulated. But the guy is operate a drugstore as if you're operating a pharmacy. These are two different things. But for the time acute kidney injury, because we don't recall some of these drugs. Problem you bury I'm not hamuncha nyata bottle ngeni or nyata fathers or whatever. So a lot of things needs to be done. I think the rusno sa pour ñu wone ñun xam nga some of these things problem la ci Gambia bi, and it should not be a problem if we are a serious nation, parce que ñun war nañu am xam nga waruñu am that ma ngi gis fena for more explain can you imagine fini where he talks about healthcare, where is it again, the health infrastructure is inadequate. Bena yeah,
it's service
and
how
hygiene
and quality control.
Quality control do not meet the US standard
of care.
The US standard of care, not only in the Gambia, maybe didn't meet the US standard of care because of dollar be able to.
But our hospitals, our health structure is terrific.
That's what I am saying. The problem is not because meeting the US standard of care, but at least Monica up to standard. At least Monica, we can be proud of it. Then you understand it's infrastructure is okay, healthcare service delivery is fine, Nangam is fine, but it's not, and that's what people complain
even
about.
To dispose of materials that have been used, let's say injections. Even to dispose them properly is a problem for some hospitals. Mind you, I went to a hospital the last time I was ill. Mungi joge pengu halawe, mungi sani pengu bide. Lol dugul ci dustbin bi, she did not even bother to pick it up. Fofu la ko baye.
No dem, can you imagine?
Man suma togut am ba, lol pengu bi muna na jam suma tanka bi. That could have given me infection.
Exactly.
Dama xam xale bobu lan la am.
You don't know because ko dafa fever you discover. So they don't care.
Exactly. They don't care
because dafa
client bi sax mun na ñu mu balé fofu non for yena materials which had bloods and all. Then ko dem sani sen dustbin very open. How to dispose these materials? They don't even sterilization sometimes. Do they even sterilize it well? To be honest,
that is definitely a problem.
It is definitely a problem.
And to talk about landmines as well, because it's a concern. We have these porous borders between the Gambia and Senegal. And it's hard to control, yes, but to talk about landmines or whatever, obviously it's the southern part, more in the southern part of Senegal, Casamance, and even the Gambia and Senegal, obviously Fufla Moneka, not within Nyomi, because Nyomi do them for some landmines, Nyomi. So the only place bingo is most of the time is border at Casamance. So why not you them see some of these borders to all the time put set mines in put detect some of them at this new Suleko, then you hear the explosion after you them for set.
Do we have experts that do that here in the Gambia?
We should have
okay. And if we have them, then definitely we should go ahead and
do it. Because I'm not saying we do have, but if you don't, it's a problem because I'm not.
And you cannot tell the people also living within the area to not go through that path because landmines so can
the landmine kufata hada dem même rabi sax dafa explode. Last time I gis bena lifin bu gaadon def comme Dixie ni Gambia lañ ko téwon sa ay Dixie yu non ñun mën nañu taxaw ci landmine du explode du def dara. Understand? Dixie la gaadon use to detect some of the landmines, but su fa di taxawé dafa dem ñu dëkk ci porous borders yooyu ñu dëkk ci the satellite villages they need to fetch water. They need to fetch firewood.
Yeah.
Every time to cook and to do.
And
other
some of
things
them
as
are
well.
hunters.
Some of them are hunters. Some of them are farmers. Obviously, it's not a safe area. But where exactly like Kusur, they would not know. So munda ñoo dem ci lolu motax most of the time da nga gis so sété dëkk yu am xé ak yoy non sax motax nga dé mu bari ay lago. Understand nga gis mu explode ki tankam bi dogé ci so ci déyut santa yalla nga jëlé ci tank bu dog o nga jëlé ci mandarga bo xamna ni for the rest of your life dafa nek scar du génnati du def dara. Understand either sa tank dog sa loxo dog or whatever. But lima wax moy so if we have it or if you don't we should at least ñu dem ci these villages. Understand this set areas you know xamna they are experts ñom xamnañ lima wax man I'm just giving an advice to according to my own opinion lima fokk them for try to detect some of these at least di len souli dafa naxari nga génné yépp or at least nga wañé ko su ko défé nit ñi ñu mëna safe waye so gisé ñi di advice lolu it's because they yet still xam nañ ko so gisé tam ñu la advice ne do stay on the main road do not branch off or whatever ñu la wone it's still not safe because you don't know where it's buried so loolu problème la moo nekk trop si dëkk bi so I think we need to do all that am na yenn dëkk fii da nga xam nga Gambie yàlla dafa dogal soo demee am na yenn dëkk yoo da ngaa dem tuuti rek am nga Sénégal da ngaa dem tuuti rek am nga Casamance te xam nga yooyu noonu yow su ne ko ñun ñoo ko fa def dinañ xam fan lañ ko def waaye ñun defuñ ko fa te ñi ko faa def tam trap lañ lal rek pour bëgg seen ennemi si jaar foofu noonu because ñu ngi try to protect themselves because so fa jaaree and you get and it explodes then obviously ñoom they are safe because you are not coming anymore so it is a trap laid for some people and then the wrong people will fall on that.
Yeah. Most definitely. And moving on, let's take a look at the story where a floriculturist expresses dismay over road construction, claiming losing $1 million. A floriculturist, a local association, has claimed over $1 million loss caused by the road construction along the Battle Harden Highway. The public relations officer of the Gambia Floriculturist Association, Mamuni Balde, told The Voice in an interview yesterday. Looking at the mango trees that were cleared by the caterpillar, they harvest a lot of money out of that, which is a huge loss to them. A lot of people have lost their products, not only the plants, but even the plots that they planted in, and most importantly, our big trees were all lost in the demolition. According to them, they received a letter from the Office of the Physical Planning prior to the destruction informing them to move 40 meters away from the main road, which they did, but the plants that were already grown cannot be moved due to lack of materials and space. He explained that the contractor of the road construction came to them. He told them they don't need 40 meters, but they only need 30 meters, and that has caused many of the floriculturists to return back. But eventually, when the machine came for construction, they have seen them taking more than 40 meters. Li happen na, not just on this for the floriculturists. The next measure, like move 3 centimeters or let's say 30 centimeters, then you deal more than that. It has been happening.
Why shouldn't be that? Because
it shouldn't be that.
Film measure obviously for rek lañu wara am.
Wow.
And foog naa tam ñeneen itam dañ ko def because man su fekkee ne dama am land somewhere or suma place la am nga dafa am ñoo xam ne tam dang leen a blame. dañ bëggee ba nga xam ne seen kër gi su amee fii su ñoo tabax fi seen kër gi am kak foofu lañ ko dee boo def at least nga wàcce tuuti because man xam nga gis naa ñoo xam ne loolu la ñoo def ñoom moom seen kër waaye bi ñoo tabax dañ ko dugal xam nga benn few centimeters or benn 1 meter or whatever yaa xadu sa kër gi dara su fekkee ne you have a big space su fekkee ne kër gi ñu ngi la jox ne yoon bi is like am na yoon yoo xam ne let's say ñu ne la 6 meters la yoon bi 6 meters la man suma tabax suma kër gi ma dugal ko tuuti ma gis ne at least man suma site 7 meters dox na fa so ëllëga si biir daf laa leer na suñu bëggee expand yoon bi mun naa am yow di nga ci mucca am na ñoo xam ne tam dañoo tabax dangaa am ne sa kër gi fii la am ba pare nga yokka ci leneen thinking ne xam nga kenn di ko detect you don't care because kenn du la wax nga dellu gannaaw because of li nga jàpp mooy benn 1 meter rek laa fa jël benn 1 meter laa jël si yoon bi non at least day dugal sa kër gi tuuti su ko defee nga mun cee mucca léegi-léegi nga def si town bi exactly nga gis kër yoo xam ne daf laa leer na ñii ëllëga si biir suñoo expand yoon bi duñ ci mucca because kër yëpp dañoo tolloo nga am kër bu génne ci biti so loolu tam daf da nekk problème waaye autorité su fekkee ne dañ nattane fii lañu war a am suñoo jaaxa place yooyu la dañu war a am foofu war nañu faa mën a passé
Most definitely.
That's the fact. What
And this floriculturists, yeah, I definitely feel for them because
it's a loss.
Wow. Then I'm totally mango in Publende, mango is them a jur. Then they rotal jai. It's a business to them. And
Look, an investment.
Yeah, that's the investment.
That's the investment. And many people venture in that kind of business.
Yeah.
And then you have they've got like a vast land, say Alawi.
Yeah.
Mango yi fa gis or kasu yi fa gis ñom ñoko fa ji doesn't mean that dañ dem jëna land bi ñu fekk fa kasu yi no that's their plan because dañ jëna that land to have an orchard whether you defer mango restaurants or whatever so you're seeing all that bull fog ne ki dafa jëna land bi fekk li mu fa whatever that's his investment even so fekk dafa jëna lool mu fa sax it is still his investment understand so nañ ko saveal ak yoy non so it's sad so fekk they're doing that then obviously gisuma ben reason why fi war yoon bi wara am fi ne fi lañ wara ya fa lañ wara am wara dem passer fofu duga ci space jambour
and the COVID-19 vaccination team on the point has reached schools as nationwide exercise begins. It has reached schools, but it's going to be very, very difficult to get these kids vaccinated because right now most of the parents already know that the vaccination campaign has started reaching schools, and some parents have started telling their children not to take the vaccine.
Okay.
Yeah. So once the child goes to school and they're called to go and take the vaccine, and the child says, "Okay, my mom said I should not take the vaccine," and they happen to force. I'm not saying they are going to force, but I'm just saying maybe what I think. Yeah. And they happen to tell the child, "You have to take it. It's compulsory." I don't know if it's compulsory. But what if the child takes the jab and goes home and tells the mother, "I have taken the jab"? Wouldn't that cause some kind of confusion for the school itself and all? But I don't know how they're going to be doing it, whether they're going to take permission from the parents to give the students the jab. But the COVID-19 vaccination is safe. I've taken it. I'm still alive. Nothing has happened according to the videos that have been circulating on social media. That Tojele Jabbi, I'm 6 months. It's been already 1 year since I took the jab. I'm still alive and healthy.
May you live long.
Amen.
How about the thing is, I think they need to do a serious campaign again about this, whether they have the funds or not. I'm not sure, but the thing is like, the a layman understand it's not a problem for
some people think the vaccine is dangerous. No,
yeah, whether they think it's dangerous, the course. Like COVID, you need understanding the way COVID is.
Yeah.
All over, it is a pandemic. So the whole world you don't suffer because of this COVID. There was a time. Not even a single hour or whatever, guy talked to Deglo the problem of COVID. Dingo Degasi radio stations, Dingo Degasi Marseille, you see people wearing masks, international news, you get to hear about COVID or whatever. That is not happening now. Danga Deglo radio, Subabe Goody, you might not hear anything like COVID. Dinga Sera international news, they will not talk about COVID. So, and it is still existing. People need to take their jobs still. But so faking the layman is the one going through all that without listening or hearing anything like COVID in the news or in international news or whatever. Do you think because of Nini getting to give job to people would convince that individual, that layman, to allow his child to be vaccinated? Because if I am that problem, thinking COVID so they need to go out and still talk to parents. So like schools, they have to have this parents-teacher meeting. Maybe they are doing it, but in all schools as well, as far as they're going to schools, while learn more time you vaccinate still, why we are doing this, and then them see radio, them see TV or whatever. I'm going to continue sensitizing people about this because it's not enough. What was done is not enough.
It boils down to one point: it's the misconception.
Misconception.
Understand? Because ñun de bu nekk xale yaa ngi jël polio vaccine.
Yep.
Yaa ngi jël measles vaccine. Dara jotuñu. What's the difference between those vaccines and the coronavirus vaccine? It's just the disease
because someone out there is polluting their mind about this vaccine.
You see, social media has a lot of negative impact on this, coronavirus itself.
Yep.
Because time polio be and measles vaccination be. Social media was not as effective as it is nowadays.
Yep. So
social media, they are just there to spread false information. Are the ones, putting a lot of pressure on top of the health authorities and spreading the false information. False information and misinformation could be very, very dangerous and very, very detrimental. Lol moo tax léegi kenn wératut. Yow da nga am sa feebar nga ñëw si gis benn vidéo TikTok, WhatsApp, nga gis ko Facebook Instagram da nga ah ok li su ma ko defee dinaa tane nga dem def ko indi waa sa boppa beneen façon de complication to your health.
Yeah, because ku nekk
because da nga ko gis Facebook Facebook moom dëgg rek la leen de loo fa gis rek dëgg la. Who says so? So many people are putting their health at risk.
Definitely.
Paying attention to these doctors on TikTok saying, okay, I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor. If you do this, it's good for your health. Not everyone you see on social media is how they perceive themselves to be.
My advice to that is, so yet still people are watching TikTok concerning some of these videos that you know about health or any issues. My advice is, because if that individual it's a professional. Obviously, they have name. They understand. Obviously, they have name, right? And then, what you need to do is to go and search for that individual. Pour nga xam kii ban façon yi nurse la. You xam nga ban caliber nurse la, ban what he does. Understand? Lan la def nga professional nga xam ko bu baax a baax before nga use limla direct nga def ko whatever. I think that will help. So they cannot stay away from those videos I mean.
This internet generation, we don't know the use of internet. We don't research. We don't do research. We only believe what we see. We don't tend to go and see, to do our own research and find out the main issue about that particular thing. Man, for example, let's say man, Jana pas maharit la. Man yo man Jana ba ligis na ko ni lumbahe ni Jana ba gom na masisa. She wouldn't even try to do research.
I said they need
because she believes me because I'm her friend. Whatever I tell her is going to be preserved as something good. So she will never do research.
Maybe your uncle is not reliable.
Exactly.
What I'm saying, so hello, my mind goes to students. Let's take students for example. Yeah, because we've got like 6 minutes before 11. Well, this is the breakfast show and you're watching us live from Star TV. But what I wanted to say exactly is, imagine I'm going to say students, almost all students have a smartphone nowadays. They are busy on TikTok, they are busy on WhatsApp, they're busy on other apps as well. Social networking. Hale, don't you spend time to research? Understand? Some of the subjects that they're doing, some of these issues they are to deal with in school. Do they have time to research? Do they have to spend, let's say, okay, yes, I have WhatsApp. Of course, I'm not going to use WhatsApp until I close from school.
Yeah.
So in the morning till night, you will not do anything like WhatsApp unless and until you have a group that is educative and you're expecting something to be sent in that group. Then get them WhatsApp. Other than that, I'm not going to use WhatsApp because it's school time and I'm going to school. So you school time, right from school maybe to your home, and on your way going. That's where you use WhatsApp or send some message or whatever. So I get for some time. From 5 o'clock to 7 o'clock. I don't have to use WhatsApp again because that's the time I need to study, or that's the time I need to go to Dara, or that's the time I need to do this. Then this is how you do it. You plan yourself, but you don't have to WhatsApp the whole day. You don't have to TikTok the whole day. Young students.
But parents, we have a major role to play.
Do they even?
There's a difference between a teenager and an adult. An adult, her phone or her laptop, her tablet is her privacy. But as long as you are below the age of 21, I believe your parents should monitor because they bought those devices for you to help you enhance your education. To help you enhance how you study, to make it easier for you. They should definitely monitor what you do with your phone. What kind of movies you put in your laptop. It matters. What you do on your tablet, because they brought it for educational purposes only. Exactly. So if you're misusing it for something else, they should monitor.
Imagine you have Imagine you have a child, you're the one who bought this iPhone for her, and then either go or jiget and then phone let's say code. Let's say your parent you wanted to make a call, you don't have a credit. Exactly. Abulo credit sa phone mu ne la ahake ya am nga jël ko tégo da mënu ma ko ubil ma code bi daf la leer ne xale bi am na li mu no ba dang ko jox mu ubil la ba pare nga call ba pare dela ko bo dawlo sax pour laaj ko lan motax nga wara def code sa phone bi la motax nangam ak nangam yo sa bop nga xam code bi because from time to time dafa war ñuy duga sing téléphone domi légui nga gis nga duga ci kër Jacqueline nga gis family bi fa ngi tok sa papa o sa yaay Japan na yow you okay do de dohi yaa ngi toog si kër gi because bu ngi laa gis physically yaa ngi toog amul si benn problème you're all watching TV no kooku bu ngi concentrate si funam bi xam nga lan la moo def si funam bi do you know I'm sorry for the language but do you know whether he is watching porn do you know whether she is watching porn parce que volume bi la moo wàññi ba pare mu toog soo waxee mu toog yaa ok waa baax na mel ni kuy bokk si waxtaan bi whilst he or she is watching porn
a lot of people do that
whilst mu ngi romance on the phone whilst mu ngi send some note pics on the phone whilst mu ngi send some stickers yoo xam ne ni it's not okay for that child so it's not about ne mu ngi toog si biir kër gi demul fen
she's doing the right thing you never know but there's so many things that come if it pops up a lot of people are surprised xoolal video you leak on yooyu noonu xale yooyu noonu a lot of people are like hi man xale bi xam naa ko xale bi du dee nu mu baaxee xale bi dafa yaru bla 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 yes she's always at home she greets elders but you don't know peer influence
you don't know moo tax war nañoo toog li ma la wax nii dafa bàyyi ko xel de famille bi yëpp dañoo toog sa papa sa yaay sa mag sa ñen ñëpp a ngi toog paa bi xelam dal na yaayam xelam dal na xam nga la moo dal la xelam because physically yaa ngi toog mu ngi laa gis demuloo
duy doxi tànkaam dafa gaada she's focused on her education but
si téléphone moom kay amul benn problème xanaa
what they do at their leisure is very important
moom duy doxi de léegi rek moom kay su amee internet moom soxlu dara si fekk internet bi moo gën a garaaw sax li moo mbedd bi da nga foog ne moom duy doxee duy dem fenn moom kay su déggam la moo nekk si téléphone am moo friend sami ñooy nekk di chat because loolu la wax yes moo friend sami la bon ban façon friend lan la ko friend bi di seen lan la moo seen friend bi xam nga so dañ war a I think we need to do more suñu waree xam nga benn bés ñu ngi toog fii maa la ko wax ma ne la soo gisee tey lu bari mel noonu mooy dëgg la xam nga si digital world lañ nekk ñëpp a ngi am ok ñun for exemple ñun time bi ñoo nekk xale you don't have this you know social sites yi nga xam ne do internet existoon na but not comme analog moo fi nekkoon xëy na ñun Gambia xamuñ ko loolu amuñu woon GSM amuñu woon dara for example because GSM mu ngi ñëw just ay 2001 si la Gambia am GSM before then analog moo fi nekkoon even on téléphone sax analog ngay am few individuals ñoo am téléphone yu mag yooyu la day nekk analog soo ko téye mu mel ni ko téye mbuuru dafa rëy so land phones ñoo fi nekkoon dañ laa call nga ñëw taxaw wax li nga wax sa papa ngi toog sa yaa ngi toog sa phone baa ngi si saal bi ngay wax li nga wax ñu ngi koo dégga land phone la but léegi ku nekk da nga am sa téléphone kenn amatul time mag ñi seen boppa tegatuñ xale yi di waxtaan ak ñoom démba those days da ngaa dugga si kër nit ñi dañuy yaaxamte timis jot na sax xëy na am na kër boo xam ne nii fa la màgget bu neex nekk ñëpp dañoo dem dugga foofu noonu lal basang toog si état bi maire di ñu léebal ay maam ñoo nekkoon ci kër yi maam yi di ñu léebal ñuy léeb ñun suñu boppa dafa jàngee léeb ak yooyu noonu because doxee du am but léegi yëpp téléphone la seetaan film ku nekkaa ngi am télé ku nekkaa ngi am light ku nekkaa ngi am internet affaire yaa ngi chip nga bàyyi sa doom nga foog ne jëndal naa ko smartphone am na data connection du dem fenn dafa gàttal nga dafa toog fekk li moo def ci téléphone is worse than to get so I think that should be an advice to all including myself because I am a father as well understand ak keneen so
including myself I'll be a mother someday
tomorrow so du neex a dégg nag si maybe ñeneen parce que nekkul ne lu njëriñ looy wax lu am njëriñ lu nekk rek nit ki appreciate na ko am na ñoo xam ne yow licking their secret am na ñoo xam ne kooko ngi tax naan kii lan la moo def nii because dina tax suma papa suma toogatee di téye suma téléphone bi daf ma koñe so li ma neexu ko but that's best for you
dañ bàyyi suñu xale yi ñu free torop
that's best for you anyway that should be it dafa necessary rek pour because Jacqueline dafa laal lu important so ñu ci doon waxtaan we are done with the newspaper review and we're taking a music break and when we come back we'll deal with some more